Hey yo, this is Delio coming to you another video, and we're going to talk about the current problem with the MPC 2.8 software, especially when it comes to controlling plugins like Stutter Edit 2. So let me give you a little bit of background. The background is this. So I installed and wanted to try out the new Stutter Edit 2 that just came out, with the collaboration between iZotope and BT. I'm like, great, I love this plugin. I used it on previous projects. So I wanted to see how could I use it in the MPC 2.8 software. So I tried to load it in. However, I couldn't quite route MIDI to it to get it to work. So let's go to the screen and I'm going to show you what I'm talking about. So here I am. I have a beat, like I remade like the Sade beat. I did a beat like this, right? So we got a beat. So in the MPC world, you got your plugin layer, which can have four effects on it. And then each program can have 4 effects on it. And then you also have a master channel, which can have 4 effects on it. But then you can also have 4 effects returns as well. So there's a lot of signal processing flexibility when you're trying to route signal. However, in this scenario, what I had to do was I had to go and route the main plugin to the master output right here. So this is what it sounds like with the master output. And say I want to select a preset, which is no problem. I can just go to auto mode and we're going to hear the effect come in like that. Which is cool, but the problem is that right here, I want to control this plugin. I want to control this plugin from the MIDI notes. As you can see, there's a MIDI note right there, and I want to control it from that. So how do I do that in MPC software? So I try to look at some ways to do it. So for example, if I go to say an unused MIDI track, right? If I want to use an unused MIDI track, I only have certain outputs that I could connect to. And just for disclaimer purposes, I am using 2.7.8 for the reason that 2.8 crashes certain plugins like the Rolling Cloud plugins. I'll get into a crashing situation with some other plugins and it'll just crash. You try to display it and it just crashes the whole thing. So I actually had to roll back to a previous version to make that work. So just for disclaimer purposes, I am using MPC software 2.7.8 simply because when I installed 2.8, I tried to run some Rolling Cloud plugins and some other plugins, and that simply would crash the whole thing. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to roll back to 2.7.8. Everything's working fine, and that's it. So back to this situation right here. So I'm trying to trigger a plugin, and I have MIDI notes here, but I can only assign it to the MIDI out ports. So let's go to settings, and let's see if I can create a MIDI out port going to the plugin. As you can see, I got all my other peripherals like the USB things, which is really good because the MPC 2 software lets you use USB devices. Does really good there, but I have no Stutter Edit 2 as an output port that I could send MIDI to as an effect. Let's go one further. I got that on there, and the only way I'm really able to control this plugin in the MPC 2 software environment is to just kind of let the loop go auto, set it to auto mode, and that's how you get that effect. And that's the only way you can do it. And so that's kind of the main problem that I had with that right there. This is something I hope that Akai works out in the future, where you can kind of control and send MIDI notes to effects. That works for a lot of the time-based and modulation effects based plugins, where you got the tape stop, you got flames, distortion, all these like the Sugar Bytes plugins, and like Stutter Edit 2, where you want to be able to trigger the effect at the exact time that you want to with a MIDI note. And unfortunately right now in the MPC software, to my knowledge, on MPC 2.7.8, and I know we're on 2.8 right now, but to my knowledge right now, this is something that we can't do. And this is the typical situation. It's like, okay, well, I guess I'll jump on back into FL Studio, or I'll wait to use this effect when I try to put the whole song together on a DAW like Studio 1.4. So that's the current problem right here. I just wanted people to be aware that it's not you. If you're trying to figure out how to do this and how to use this with MPC software, I think that there's a compatibility issue. Of course, you can let Akai know that, hey, we want this to work. We want some MIDI effects. And they've been pretty good about their updates, but the last update, 2.8, kind of left me scratching my head because of the plugins crashing when everything worked fine in the previous version. Of course, and it could be me. You know, I'm not going to say, hey, I know everything. Okay, I'm not going to do all that. But what I will say is that this is a current problem that I'm dealing with this platform, and I just wanted other music producers to be aware of this, so just in case they're trying to figure this out, and I wanted to give them a quick walkthrough of the problem with MPC software currently at this time. And like I said, basically in review, the problem is that I cannot control time effect plugins like this via a MIDI note. There's no way for me to take MIDI input from any one of my controllers or the pads and send that as a note to the plugin. You can do that in FL Studio, Ableton, Studio One 4, that can be done. But currently right now that cannot be done in MPC software. So if you got any questions, let me know in the comments below. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, you like that, or you got any suggestions, let me know in the comments as well. All right, I'm out of here. Peace.
Delio on the track.